Linear time is a physical illusion, and if you're trying to chase a goal, you're actually trapped in it. But when you look at this vertical circuit right here, you realize that true alignment completely warps your time and forces time to bend for you. You don't move towards your future path, your presence in alignment causes a density that space time bends around. Your future starts moving towards you, and this is how it works. To master your life, you must understand that you are constantly fluctuating between these two completely separate dimensions of time. Let's look at Chronos. Chronos is what we call linear time. It's sequential, rigid, and mechanical. It is the ticking of a clock, the passing of calendar days, and the physical drag of waiting for your reality to shift. Under Chronos, you feel separate from your desires because you view them as existing far down the timeline. It forces you to operate under constant delay. Now look at Kairos. Kairos is what we call nonlinear time. It's qualitative and not quantitative. Kairos doesn't care about clocks or calendars. It is the dimension of absolute alignment, perfect timing, and supreme presence. When you are in Kairos, the passage of linear time completely loses its grip on you. We are going to look at the exact physics of these two states. We have your zenith, which represents your future. This is your positive pole. This pole represents pure unmanifested potential. It holds your ultimate targets, your grandest visions, and the optimized version of you that already exists at a higher coordinate. Look at the opposite end. We have your past, the nadir. This is your negative pole. This pole represents your foundational momentum. It holds your accumulated experiences and your memories and everything you have already executed up until this exact microsecond. These two poles are not separate, isolated islands. They are two opposite charges in a singular human engine. Just like the physical battery requires both a negative and positive terminal to create a current, your life requires the tension between your past momentum and your future potential to generate the energy of existence. Now let's look at the Wheeler-Feynman absorber theory. Standard science tells us that time is a one-way street. An event happens in the past and sends a wave forward into the future. But physicists John Wheeler and Richard Feynman mathematically prove that the universe does not work as a one-way broadcast. In pure physics, an emitter cannot radiate a single wave into empty space unless there is an absorber in the future ready to receive it. Reality requires a complete two-way transaction. Looking at the two color wave lines traveling along the x-axis, we start from the right and we have the positive future pole and a wave travels backward through time. This is the advanced wave, shown as a flowing red line. And we also have, from the negative past pole to your left, a blue wave travels forward in time. This is the retarded wave. Notice where they are heading. They are both rushing toward the center of the axis, seeking the present neutral point, represented by the light bulb. This is literal quantum entanglement. These two waves are completely entangled across dimensions. They do not take turns. They must resonate and fire at the exact same time. Because they are entangled, any movement of one node directly and instantly affects the other. To create physical reality, both waves have to hit the present neutral point simultaneously and execute a perfect mathematical handshake. If the waves miss each other or fail to resonate, the transaction fails and the circuit stays dead, and the physical event never manifests. Reality only lights up when your past wave and your future wave collide perfectly in the now. Now let's look at the biological breakdown. To understand why your waves might be missing each other, we have to look at the human hardware, the mind and the body. Your mind is a literal quantum antenna designed to travel through time. It is completely non-physical, and because it doesn't have physical mass, it is not bound by the limitations of the present moment. As the drawing shows, your mind can instantly travel through the past, regret, or leap to the future through anticipation. It is constantly broadcasting and receiving signals across different coordinates of time. Now, if we begin to look at the body diagram right below it, your body operates on a completely different rule. It has physical mass, which means that it is bound by the absolute spatial laws. It can only ever exist in the present moment. The body cannot time travel. It can only execute what is labeled here as linear travel, stepping forward one boring second at a time across physical space. This creates the ultimate human conflict. Your body is a stationary anchor locked in a 3D now, but your mind is a 4D time-traveling device constantly fleeing the center. When your mind and body are separated, you break the resonance of your quantum antenna. The way in which you experience time, whether it be four-dimensional or third-dimensional, is directly proportional to the alignment of your mind and body. If your mind and body are not aligned, you will experience time in terms of Chronos, linear time. But something magical happens when your mind and body are aligned. But first, we're going to look into Chronos. We're going to look into what happens when your mind and body aren't aligned. Your physical body is always locked dead in a center because it can only exist in the present moment. But look at where the mind is drawn. The mind has time traveled completely off the center mark, drifting outward to the past pole or the future pole. In this specific sense, your mind is living in a distant timeline while your body is stuck in the current physical room. This distance creates a massive structural gap. In electrical engineering, when you separate a negative charge from a positive charge across a physical distance, you create an intense atmospheric pressure called voltage, or a potential difference. In your life, that potential difference is exactly what's labeled here: pressure and friction. This is Chronos time. Chronos is an agonizing weight and pressure of linear time. When you say you are putting pressure on yourself to achieve a goal, you are literally experiencing the high voltage of your mind being miles away from your physical body. You experience this as chronic stress, anxiety, or chaotic burning motivation. You are forcing your system to run completely on empty friction because your circuit is wide open. The waves are passing right by each other without a handshake, but notice the paradox. You still need this initial pressure to alert your system that a target exists. The key is knowing how to close the gap before the voltage burns your circuit out. Now let's look at Kairos. You have stopped your mind from time traveling away to the distant poles. You have brought your consciousness back to the center and locked it perfectly inside your skull. The mind and the body are now completely aligned, occupying the exact same coordinate of space-time. The structural gap drops to absolute zero. The microsecond that distance hits zero, the internal voltage drops to zero. The psychological friction completely vanishes and you hit the state represented by the little GIF. Of course, presence. Presence is not an abstract spiritual concept. It is an act of supreme system optimization. By locking your mind into your body, you transform your entire system from a scattered transmitter to a localized receiver. You turn your status to receiver on. Because you are perfectly aligned in a present neutral point, you achieve perfect resonance. The advanced wave from your future potential and the retarded wave from your past momentum crash directly into your system simultaneously. They lock together in a perfect mathematical handshake, and the distance between what you want and what you are doing collapses. Time completely changes its behavior. You step out of Chronos friction and into Kairos non-time. Linear time stops feeling like a mechanical prison, tracking your delays, and it begins to operate as raw compressed fuel. Hours pass like minutes because your system is executing actions with zero resistance. Time flies when you're having fun. You've achieved the perfect impedance matching the universe. Power transfers through your actions at 100% efficiency, lighten up the bulb of your physical reality. Optimize your blueprint, stop your mind from fleeing a center, close the circuit, and let your reality light up for you.